Okay, let's talk about Mauricio Suleiman making Andy Ruiz eligible for a title shot. Now, first and foremost, let me first point out something right here. A lot of people talk about Anthony Joshua and this, that, and the third, just very judgmental. I only bring up how his presence in the boxing game only helps out the boxing game, the heavyweight division, and boxing as a whole. And here it is, you got the clearest example. Here this is Andy Ruiz. Keep in mind, prior to fighting Anthony Joshua, nobody knew about Andy Ruiz, nobody spoke about Andy Ruiz. A lot of people say they did, but check their track records. Who has a video on Andy Ruiz prior to Anthony Joshua? I'll wait. Nobody does. So I don't even want to hear that. Okay, so here it is. Andy Ruiz beats Anthony Joshua and loses to Anthony Joshua in the rematch. And because of that, Mauricio Suleiman is ready to put him in the top 10 heavyweight contenders because of a win and a defeat over Anthony Joshua. Now, Anthony Joshua is supposed to be this irrelevant guy, this soft dude, this dude that don't fight nobody, this dude that's been handed everything. But do you see how him stepping in, blessing Andy Ruiz's life, has carried on even beyond the rematch that he lost? Because now, because he fought Anthony Joshua, this dude now has a career. You see that? He fights Anthony Joshua. He gets put in the top 10 heavyweight contenders list and gets a title shot coming off of a loss. If that doesn't tell you how much sway and how much power Anthony Joshua holds over the division, the fact that the only reason why Andy Ruiz is getting this treatment is because he fought at Anthony Joshua. He didn't get that treatment when he fought Joseph Parker or anybody else. But because he lost to Anthony Joshua, this dude now has a career. He's now put in the top 10 heavyweight division, which he's never been in the top 10 heavyweight division. And he gets a title shot off of losing to Anthony Joshua. Now, ain't that something? But I'm going to point out something that's even a little bit more important than that. You know, the fact that Mauricio Suleiman is saying that Andy Ruiz is eligible for a title shot after taking a loss to Anthony Joshua. Number one, it's a slap in the face to Dillian Whyte. You know, you quick to do all that, but Dillian Whyte's been the number one mandatory contender forever. So, number one, that's very disrespectful to Dillian Whyte, and it also shows where their priorities is. And if they wanted to give Dillian Whyte a shot, they could give him a shot, because look what they're doing for Andy Ruiz. But what's even more important than that, who really has to watch out for this whole scenario, is actually Deontay Wilder. Because I'm going to put it like this. Mauricio Suleiman is putting them in a position to have a title shot. They just lost all the position. They just lost the possession of all the other sanctioning belts. So they now only have the WBC belt. Okay? Now, keep in mind that Andy Ruiz is the first Mexican heavyweight. I'm just saying, from a business standpoint of view, if I was Mauricio Suleiman, head of the WBC, it would be financially intelligent for me to make sure that Andy Ruiz becomes champion again, because a Mexican WBC heavyweight champion would be more beneficial for everybody, including the networks, than having Deontay Wilder as the heavyweight champion. That's facts. See, and this is why I think Mauricio Suleiman and Al Heyman is going to bump heads. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you right now what Mauricio Suleiman is thinking. You know what I'm saying? It's what any intelligent person is thinking. They don't make Mayan belts for no reason. You know what I'm saying? And who is the Mayan belt catered towards? What demographic is that catered towards? You don't have a Cuban belt. You don't have a Puerto Rican belt. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a Brazilian belt. You don't have an Eastern European belt, but you got a Mayan belt. You know? So, being that a lot of these matches, and at least when it comes to matchmaking, and the best matches sold in boxing, would always be black and brown matches. That because a lot of Mexicans support boxing, because a lot of Mexicans are in boxing. And if I was looking at Deontay Wilder, a guy who just got dropped on his platform, it's no mistake that he wants to give him a title shot. It's no mistake that he puts him in a top 10 category, because you got the first Mexican heavyweight champion, period. Now, being that Andy Ruiz is down with PBC, we don't know. But one thing's for sure, they have never put Deontay Wilder in a position of danger. Never. I mean, you could look at his career and tell that they have never put him in a position of danger. But the fact that you make Andy Ruiz eligible for a title shot and he no longer is holding any belts, we all know the only reason why they was making that fight is because Andy Ruiz held the other belts. Now, the interesting thing is, Andy Ruiz signed a contract to fight Deontay Wilder before his rematch with Anthony Joshua. Number one, that shows that how positive they was and how sure that they was that Andy Ruiz was going to beat Anthony Joshua, because there was just no way that he was going to win. And that also contributes to why you see that he didn't train any. But even though that, they were in possession of that, and even though that Andy Ruiz is signed with Al Heyman and they signed that contract before then, that was them. It didn't matter anyway, because the point is, it would be great both ways. If Deontay Wilder won, you would have an undisputed heavyweight champion, whatever. If Andy Ruiz won, you would have an undisputed Mexican heavyweight champion. So either way, it's a win-win. But without those belts, now it's more financially lucrative to put Andy Ruiz in the position that Deontay Wilder is, because of his Mexican heritage. Andy Ruiz would do better with that position. Mauricio Suleiman knows that, and Al Heyman knows that. So if I was Team Wilder and Al Heyman, I would be a little bit concerned what Mauricio Suleiman is doing. Mauricio Suleiman works with Al Heyman in cahoots like that because they scratch each other's back. But please believe that there's no loyalty whatsoever. So if I was Deontay Wilder, I would take a strong suspicion, and I would be a little standoffish when it comes to making Andy Ruiz eligible for a title shot with Deontay Wilder, because as you know, anybody can beat Deontay Wilder. It's just, can you get past his right hand at the end of the day? You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at this situation. But once again, it's just to show and prove that before Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz was a nobody. After Anthony Joshua, this dude now has a career. He's now the first Mexican heavyweight champion. He now has a legacy. He's now been put in the top 10 heavyweight category, and he is now eligible for a title shot. All that because Anthony Joshua chose to pick this guy. And keep in mind, Andy Ruiz was not the designated opponent. He's just somebody that was a fill-in of a fill-in. You know what I'm saying? Gerald Miller was a fill-in for Wilder, and Andy Ruiz was a fill-in for Gerald Miller. You know what I'm saying? So once again, the fact when he's saying, dude, if you want to have a legacy, come and see me, it's no joke. You know what I'm saying? It's real life facts, and Andy Ruiz is living proof of it. Anyways, that's my thoughts on it. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Bruce Van, I'm out.